We here on this channel, we love Kristen Stewart because whenever she makes a comment or something, she proves just how incapable of accepting reality she really is. And I was happening to look at some stuff online, and I came across this article that says, Underwater proves Kristen Stewart is more than ready to be a bona fide action star. So let's see. Does Underwater prove that Kristen Stewart is more than ready to be a bona fide action star? So, here's the article right here. We're going to jump right into it right here. In some ways, it's ironic that Sigourney Weaver's star-making performance as Lieutenant Ellen Ripley in Alien has become synonymous with badass heroine. This is going to be a really long article. Let's see if we can skip along here. They are talking about Ripley. This whole article so far is about a xenomorph. And let's see. Ripley. Okay. You would never convince me it is for your first time. But Kristen Stewarts now right here is when we start talking about Kristen Stewarts here. But Kristen Stewart's performance in Underwater reminds you of what makes it potent in all the best way. The actor begins the movie emotionally damaged and physically withdrawn, sitting on a bench and looking as though she wished she would collapse into herself. Alright, the film kicks into overdrive mere minutes in and rarely lets up with the forward momentum. She's a 21st century Ripley, updating the trope of commanding the screen with a presence that announces her enlistment. It wasn't always that way, far from it in fact. Those who remember the days of the Twilight franchise dominated the pop culture conversation of the last years of the aughts likely recall all too well. Stewart's acting was caricatured as stilted and wooden. And seeing her face in all these things, all these promotional pictures, does not tell me anything differently. So, let's get to the brass tacks here. Is Kristen Stewart really ready to become a bona fide action star? Well, here are the prerequisites for being a bona fide action star. Number one, your movies have to be good. Number two, your movies have to make money. And number three, you have to be believable. So let's go with number one. The only two movies right now that I can think of besides, what was it, Ultraviolet or something, or American Ultra, which I have not seen but was suggested to me by somebody here on this channel that I watch, was Charlie's Angels that I can think of recently. And Kristen Stewart, we know what happened with that one. It's right here in this channel. It was a complete and total disaster. A complete feminist, agenda-driven movie that nobody wanted to see. And so, does that mean it's not good? Yeah, I heard it's not fucking good. I didn't watch it because I had no intention of watching it, to be honest with you, because I didn't want to watch a feminist, agenda-driven movie. Now, Underwater, I don't know if it's good or not because I'm not going to watch that either because she is not a star. So right now, really, my sample size is so limited on her because even the things that I did watch with her in it, I was not impressed whatsoever with her acting ability. She does not draw me to the theater. And from the fact that her movies aren't making any money, I can assume that her movies aren't any good. Nobody's I mean, has any movie she's ever been in, has there been sequel talk? Has it really been a water cooler conversation besides anything that was negative? You know? The second thing was, first is they have to be good. The second one is that they have to make money. And the reason that they have to make money is because when you are a star, you draw people to the theater. You put their asses in the seat because they want to see what you're going to do next. And saying action star means you draw people to the theater. Arnold Schwarzenegger was an action star. Sylvester Stallone was an action star. Keanu Reeves today with the John Wick franchise and The Matrix and all that stuff, he is an action star. Speed, it was an action flick. He is an action star. He draws people in and they say, I'm going to watch this movie because Keanu Reeves is in it. And hopefully it's really good. And he puts them together. He draws money. So because she has not drawn any money in any movie other than Twilight, that movie, and you can probably say, look, Snow White and the Huntsman was her vehicle to get out of the Twilight thing, and she fucked that all up by sleeping with her director, who was married at the time. She fucked that all up. She gave it bad publicity, and when they made the sequel, they didn't even include her in it because she was worthless to that property. They didn't even include her in it. And Kristen Stewart, so Kristen Stewart doesn't draw people. Her movies don't make money. Nobody says that they're any good. I haven't heard anybody tell me that these movies are good. And, so what is it then? What is it that is proving that she's an action star? What is it? Nothing. Let's look at how Underwater did in its first debut weekend here. 1917 source at 37 million. If you know what that movie is, that's about two soldiers, and I believe World War II. Could be World War One. No, 1917 is World War One. Excuse me. And World War One, and they have to go and call off some sort of strike or something like that because of new intelligence. That one jumped in at 37.2 million. This is for January 11th. 37.2 million. Look at last week's Star Wars. 34.5 million. Poor Star Wars. Let's see. And then Underwater with Kristen Stewart went kerplunk with $6 million plus. $6 million. Paramount's Like a Boss, I hear, played quite well with testing audiences. That comedy with Tiffany Haddish, Rose Byrne, Selma Hayek, 29 million. Wow, this puts the $29 million Paramount. Oh, the movie was made for $29 million, and it made $10.7 million in the number 4 spot. That's Like a Boss. Where are they talking about? Just Mercy, the movie with Brie Larson, who doesn't show up in any of the actual promotion anymore. That one opened at number 5 with 10.2 million. And here we go. Disney Fox had the TSG Turner Entertainment Kristen Stewart action movie Underwater, and it's 2 duds in a row for the Twilight alum after Charlie's Angels, with this $50 million production from Sundance Film Fest alum William Eubank hitting rock bottom with 6.7 million in the number 7 spot. I did a video where I talked about how Kristen Stewart pretty much went on there went in an interview and said that she was still proud of Charlie's Angels even though it failed. She said that she was more proud that the movie was good than if it had made money and was bad. What about this one, Kristen Stewart? This one's not going to make any money either. Are you still proud of this one? How can you be an action star? You can't draw money. You can't draw money. And I think the next movie after this is that movie that she's making with another box office failure, the girl from Terminator. They're playing a lesbian couple. It's called Good Holiday or something like that. I did a video on that one too. And this is crazy because this is a Disney Fox production. The one piece of good news for this movie, which Fox sat on heading into the new Disney regime, is that it didn't get an F cinema score like The Grudge last weekend, but it received a C, the lowest grade of the new entries. On Post-Track, Underwater has 2 stars and a 35% definite recommend, while Grudge in weekend 2 on the ComScore Screen Engine Audience Exit Service has declined to no stars. So the only way, and this is what SJWs do, the only way to make something seem better is by looking at something that's worse and trying to prop yourself up on the shoulders of somebody else. That's the SJW motto. The SJW motto is to try to make me feel better by making someone else feel worse. Fuck you. How about that? Essentially, if you're going to release bad movies, the studio has to do it at times when there's at least access to good traffic so they can try to make as much back in the first revenue stream and as possible. From what I hear, Underwater happened thanks to indie financing and the belief is in its producers to get the film off the ground. However, the pick from the onset was besieged with being too similar to other sci-fi films, and this notion that pick had to begin by thrusting the audience into the action rather than having it be set up. None of that would matter if Kristen Stewart was a star. Let's be completely honest here. If Kristen Stewart was a star, people would have at least showed up this first weekend. We are talking about $6.7 million. A Tiffany Haddish movie. Just Mercy with a star, Jamie Foxx, and another star, Michael B. Jordan, $10.2 million. Jumanji, look at that. Jumanji's making huge bank, $256 million. It's got stars in it. Like a Boss, right here, $10.7 million on a $29 million budget. And this movie's like, it's getting horrible reviews, and yet it still made more money. Tiffany Haddish is a bigger star than Kristen Stewart. $50 million, 6.7. This fifth, by the way, the fact that $50 million is an indie movie is ridiculous. Let's face facts here, okay? This article right here is BS. Underwater proves that Kristen Stewart cannot be the lead in a movie. Kristen Stewart needs to be background fodder from now on. Kristen Stewart needs to her career needs to take a step back. She is not a star. She's nowhere near a star. She doesn't have star power. She doesn't draw anything. Her acting is still wooden. Her acting still sucks. Every time that I see any sort of promo or if I watch a scene from one of her movies, which I do, I watch scenes from movies and stuff like that, even though I may not want to see the whole movie. I try to give things a chance. So I might see a scene or something and say, okay, does this capture me? Does this look like something I want to continue to watch? And Kristen Stewart's movies never do because she's not good. She is not a leading lady. She never was a leading lady. The success of Twilight put an aura around her that should have never been there. The reason why Twilight was as successful as it is because obviously the books were already well known and well established. And the guy who played Jacob, Tyler Lautner? Maybe. And my new Batman. Robert Pattinson, they were the stars of that. And even Robert Pattinson in those movies was stiff as a fucking board. But he got the girls screaming. Listen, they gotta stop with this stuff. They gotta stop with this SJW garbage. They gotta stop with trying to make people into badass heroines that are not badass heroines. She's not. This is not her plight in life. Okay? She's the girl who sits in the background and all moody emo. She's still that same person. That same emo, moody, her everything about her just screams entitled nonsense. Everything about her. So, if you like the content of this channel, I'm just going to end it right there. If you like the content of this channel, please like, share, subscribe, and don't forget to subscribe and comment down below. Don't forget to comment down below. I love your guys' comments. Even the stupid ones, I like them too. So, don't forget to comment down below. Thank you so much, and I will catch you later.